My name is Kimberly, and I'm your host today, here to guide you through the 5 key features that you'll want to set up to have the most success with QuickBooks Self-Employed. But before we dive in, I thought I'd take an opportunity to share a little bit about myself. I'm a Senior Product and Support Specialist for QuickBooks Self-Employed. I've been with QBSE for 2 years, but I've been supporting Intuit products for a little over 4, which includes QuickBooks Online and TurboTax. I'm currently a host in our QuickBooks community forum where I specialize in QBSE posts, articles, and conversations, but I'm expanding my horizons into other versions of QuickBooks. I'm a specialist in the QBSE integration with TurboTax, which involves, as part of my job, studying our customers' use of that feature and improving it so that it functions very easily for you all. That feature comes with our bundle with the QuickBooks Self-Employed and TurboTax Self-Employed bundle, and the integration allows you to just send all of your QBSE data to TurboTax Self-Employed when you're ready to file. So something really cool to look into as you get started with QBSE. One big benefit that I want to share is that through QuickBooks Self-Employed, our customers find on average $4,628 in tax savings per year. This is money that you find through your biggest tax deductions that QBSE will help you track. But of course, that money doesn't just sprout from signing up for QuickBooks Self-Employed. It's money that you'll find through tracking and categorizing your business deductions. The 5 features that we learn about today will help you find those tax deductions and more. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to help you guide through the top 5 most important things to do to get started in QBSE. And during this session, I'll mostly focus on the web version of QuickBooks, but there will be a couple mentions of the mobile app and how to use it to optimize QBSE. So for our agenda, I'll help you manage your transactions by showing you how to securely connect your bank accounts, enter your cash transactions, and categorize your transactions. I'll show you how to manage your receipts by turning on receipt forwarding, uploading your receipts, and adding receipts from your computer. We'll set up your mileage tracking to get the most out of your deductions. I'll show you how to complete your tax profile so that we can estimate your quarterly taxes more accurately. And lastly, we'll get you ready to invoice so that you can get paid faster. By utilizing these features for your business, you'll be able to easily see how you're doing financially and what to expect when tax season comes. Now, before we dive in, I know that lots of you are already familiar with the chat and the questions menu in the webinar, but please feel free to ask any questions you might have during the demo, and I'll do my best to answer them as we go. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and get into the demo, and I'll show you my QuickBooks Self-Employed account, where we'll dive into some of this getting started tasks. So I hope you can see my QuickBooks Self-Employed account. Let me know in the chat or question section that you can. Awesome. Validation is good. All right, so I'm going to kick this off with a quick introduction of the home dashboard. The home dashboard is where you'll see basically an overview of the most important things for your business. We're going to give you these little task cards so that you can just do some quick and easy things, anywhere from adding your bank account, getting the mobile app, setting up your receipt forwarding. And then as you continue to use QuickBooks Self-Employed, it's going to change these up to things like categorize your transactions, categorize your business mileage, check on some reports, check on your invoice statuses, and things like that. We'll also do quick announcements about new features that we've brought and ask you to test those things and let us know how you like them. Right over here, you can see your little piggy bank. This is your tax savings so far during the year. As you continue to categorize your transactions and track those business miles, you'll see this tax savings go up and up. Here are our little dashboard cards. These are basically quick overviews of your profit and loss, expenses, your bank accounts, invoices and the statuses of those invoices, and then your mileage deduction so far during that year or during whichever time frame you choose, and then your total estimated taxes. And this is going to always be whichever is the next quarterly tax payment due is what we're going to show here. Additionally, I'd like to point out the gear icon here in the top right corner. This is basically your settings menu, but it does a lot more than just help you set up your settings. You can manage your transactions by adding your bank accounts, importing CSV files of prior history transactions, manage your transaction rules, set up your receipt forwarding, and then add receipts. Through your taxes menu, you can edit your tax profile. You can edit your vehicle information in case you get a new vehicle or something changes with that. And you can edit your healthcare. Over here, we've got your profile. So if you change your email address and need to tell us, this is where you'll do that. If you want to add your accountant QBSE for easy collaboration, that's an option here. You can edit your billing information here. This is also where you would upgrade or downgrade from your QuickBooks version. So we've got the QuickBooks Self-Employed standalone version, and then you can upgrade to the QuickBooks Self-Employed plus TurboTax Self-Employed version. Here's our refer a friend. So if you refer a friend, you give 50% off of QuickBooks Self-Employed and you get $30. And then labs, transfer to QBO is just in testing right now, but something very exciting that we might have to come. And then we have labs as well, where you can test out new features. Right here is our help icon. This is where you're going to find self-help content. You can ask a question or search QuickBooks Self-Employed. You can also get in contact with us here. This is where you can either choose to email us and send out the email and wait for our response if you've got to do some other things, or you can sit and chat with us. We're available 24/7. And lastly, this is our QuickBooks Assistant. The assistant can help you look up certain things in your QuickBooks Self-Employed account. It can give you a snapshot of certain reports and things like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and move into the Transactions tab. This is one of the first 5 most important features that you want to, that you're going to manage while using QuickBooks Self-Employed. Managing transactions is a big part of your business finances, and it's a key feature that you'll utilize. We make it easy for you to connect your bank account and categorize those transactions so that you can track every single one of your business deductions. So from the transactions page, you'll categorize all of your business transactions, and you can also get your personal transactions out of the way if you have a shared business and personal account. I'll show you first how to connect your bank. You can connect it through this Connect Account button here, or as I showed earlier, through the gear icon and then Bank Accounts. Through this Connect Account button and through the Bank Accounts button, you'll enter your bank or credit card name, or if you bank with any of these common providers or institutions, you can choose one of those. And then it'll have you sign into your bank account through the secure connection, and it may prompt you with a multi-factor authentication, which is basically those security questions, what's your mom's maiden name, things like that, just so that we know that it's you. Once you have your bank account connected, your transactions will automatically download. We receive anywhere from 30 days to a year's worth of transactions, depending on how much history the bank will allow us to pull. But on average, we receive 90 days worth of transactions. If you need to bring in more transactions than what's automatically downloaded, you can upload a CSV file through this drop-down here and then import transactions, or through the gear icon, imports. The CSV file is something that you download from your online bank account. There's usually settings in the online account that say like download reports or download transactions, and that's where you'll go. But it's different for every bank, so it's going to be in a different position. I think it's also important to call out the big benefit that you get with categorizing. Not only will you be able to get a snapshot of your business profit, your business income, and your business spending, but this helps you track which transactions are deductions. So I'll demo a few transactions here to help show you what you can expect as you categorize your transactions. I've already got a few categorized here, but I know that this is a business transaction. It's business income. It knows that because this is a positive amount. This is a business expense, and it knows that it's a contract labor because I was paying the wages to my contractors. If this isn't right, though, you can always change it to whichever category matches. This was also business. This was definitely business, and it knows that it was advertising through AdWords. This was my attorney fee. That knows that it should be a transfer, and it won't hit my income or expenses because it was transferred from one account to another. There's my income. Oh yeah, this was definitely personal, so let's get that out of the way. And this was personal, and that was a business transfer. So there's a question in the chat room. If my client has manually entered expenses and then we set up the online bank connection, will there be any duplication? Well, it depends on if those manually entered transactions were from that same bank account, then yes, you will have duplicates. So let me show you an easy way to get rid of those. So if you change your type to cash, there are two different ways you can do that. You can change the type to, the account to cash, and then that will give you all of the manually entered expenses. And then from here, you can bulk, mark as business, mark as personal, or delete. Now, if you want to keep those cash transactions because those are already categorized and you want to get rid of those business expenses, then you would simply change the account to that connected bank account. And then you would filter through and either mark them individually and exclude them, or you can bulk and exclude. But if you do the bulk exclude, just be careful that you're excluding only the ones that would be duplicate. The 50% for referring a friend, that we've had that for a long time. I don't know that we'll get rid of it, but it should be available for you probably the entire time that you're a QuickBooks Self-Employed customer. I would cover more for the transfer to QuickBooks Online, but right now that's in testing. We just know that customers really want to be able to upgrade to QuickBooks Online, and so we're trying to make that possible. All right, folks, so now we're going to go ahead and move into entering a transaction manually. So that's creating a cash transaction. From here, this Add Transaction button, it'll populate this new transaction line. And so you'll want to change the date in case the date was prior to today's date, but we automatically fill that out with today. You'll enter the description of the transaction. So say I'm going to do, I paid for gas at Chevron for $50. And then I'm going to select my category, and I'm going to search gas. Perfect, gas and fuel. There we go. If I have a receipt, I can drag and drop the receipt here, or I can browse and attach it, and I can make any note about this transaction as well. I'm going to go ahead and save that. And notice I didn't have to put the minus $50 because I chose a category that's an expense category, and so it automatically knows that this is an expense. Now say I have income from, let's just do Lyft. Even though that should automatically come in, I don't have my bank accounts connected, so I've got to input that myself. And I'm going to choose income and save. And it knows that that should be green. That should impact my income up here, and it will impact my total business profit. All right, so we entered a cash transaction. I showed you how to add the bank account, and we categorized some transactions. So now I'm going to move into the receipts. I showed you just a moment ago when adding those cash transactions that you can also drag and drop your receipt here or browse. You've got the option to add receipts here. You've got the option to add receipts here. And when you do add the receipts, those will automatically link to whichever transaction matches. So we're going to do our best to read the date on the receipt and the date on the transaction, match it to the transaction description and the amount, and those will become one. You can also add your receipts to QuickBooks Self-Employed by turning on the receipt forwarding feature, which is really cool. It's one of my favorite features. If you do a lot of online shopping, say you order things from Amazon or whatever it is that you do and you're receiving e-receipts, you can set up your receipt forwarding, and all of those receipts that come from your email account can be forwarded to QuickBooks Self-Employed. So that's something I would encourage if you do get a lot of e-receipts to set up. And then lastly, if you use the mobile app, you can do a screenshot or snap a receipt. And let me show that here to you. Do you see my snap a receipt page? I think you probably should, but essentially in your mobile app, you're going to see a green plus button in the bottom right-hand corner. When you tap that, you're going to have a few options, but one of them is snap the receipt. And you'll take a picture of your receipt, that'll get uploaded to your account, and it'll get matched to a downloaded transaction. Now, say you don't have a downloaded transaction to match your receipt because you spent cash, and this was a cash receipt. What that receipt will do is it'll know that there's no match in QuickBooks Self-Employed, and it will get converted to a cash transaction. So you don't have to create a cash transaction on top of uploading the receipt. Just let the receipt go into your account. We'll know what to do with it. And yep, Mariette, when forwarding the receipts to QuickBooks Self-Employed, that receipt does match to the bank expense. As long as the dates, the transaction description, and the amount matches, we are going to match it for you. All right, folks, so now that we've covered transactions and receipts, I'm going to go ahead and move into mileage. Mileage is one of those big deductions that you get. We get 54.5 cents per mile driven for your business purposes, and so that's why it's really important to use the mobile app where you can track those miles and get those deductions. So if you haven't set up your mileage yet, you should see a helpful option here on the mileage page that will send you a text to download the app right here. So you'll enter your phone number, we'll send you a link through a text message, and then you'll tap that link and it'll take you either to your App Store or Google Play, and you'll easily just download the app and start your QuickBooks Self-Employed app. Remember to sign in using your same login credentials that you used for the web. That way your account syncs. Oh, sorry, I didn't move over to the other screen. Thanks for letting me know. There we go, moving over to miles. So this is where you'll enter your phone number and send yourself the link from the mileage tab. And here we've always got the mileage rate, the IRS mileage rate to show you in case it changes. This will get updated. And then just to show you a little bit about this page, we've got the total mileage deductions and the total miles driven. I don't have any mileage deductions yet because I haven't categorized, but we'll see here that as I categorize my trips, that those mileage deductions will go up. Additionally, this is going to be your total miles driven based off of this filter. So if you just want to see your total miles driven for business, toggle this filter to business only, and then you'll see those total miles driven and your mileage deduction. So let's go back here. I'm going to get some of these personal trips out of the way. That was personal. That was personal. This was business. And you'll see those mileage deductions going up. Now, say for some reason, maybe we didn't get trips tracked for whatever reason. Sometimes if our battery is low, it puts our QBSE app to sleep, and so we can't catch those miles. But for any reason, if you do need to add a trip manually, you can simply click the Add Trip button here. Be sure to change the date to whichever date the trip was taken. You can add your start address or end address, and then the distance driven and the trip purpose. Keep in mind, you can't upload a personal trip. It's only business, so this is going to default to business. If you got a new vehicle, you can click that button there and then edit your vehicle information so that you can keep track of the business miles driven for that vehicle. All right, folks, so that's all for the mileage. We'll go ahead and move into the tax profile, which is one of the most important parts of QuickBooks Self-Employed. The tax profile helps us do your estimated quarterly taxes accurately. So, and actually let's go here and go gear icon to the tax profile. The tax profile tells us your tax bracket, which is based on your marital status, your head of household, any W-2 income you might have, or if you're married, you and your spouse might have, your federal withholdings, and your deductions. If you have any questions about these, we do an explanation here. Are you the big kahuna? And if you are, you have to have these to qualify. And questions about deductions, should I take the standard, should I take the itemized? We've got a little answer there for you. But the tax profile is really important to fill out. I understand you might not have all the information to fill out the tax profile now, but be sure to gather that information and get that updated as soon as possible so that your estimated taxes can be accurately estimated. All right, so another thing I want to point out is from the annual taxes tab. I'm sorry, if this doesn't load, it's just because this is a test account. But from your annual taxes tab, if you do have a home office, you can use or you can fill out your home office information through the annual taxes tab, such as the square feet of your home office, and then all of your home office deductions will report there. So sorry about the little glitch here in this test account, but in your account, you'll see the annual taxes and the home office information. And lastly, invoices. We want you to get paid fast and easy. So when you create your invoices, you'll have this option to edit your work info. This is what I call your invoice profile. This is what your clients will see or your customers will see. You can drag and drop your logo here, or you can browse and upload it. You'll put your name or your business name here along with your business email address or whichever email address you prefer your customers use to contact you, and all of this contact information as well. If any of that changes, when you go to create a new invoice, you can simply click here, the edit work info at the bottom. If you have any feedback about the invoice feature, we've got a whole team sitting there waiting to read your feedback and to provide solutions for it. So give us feedback here, and we'd be happy to look into that for you. Additionally, we have payments. We offer payments for you, so merchant services, which helps you accept payments online with credit cards or your free bank transfers, also known as ACH. So you can set up payments, and we'll tell you here how much the credit card fees are. Keep in mind, these are tax-deductible transaction fees. And then bank transfers are free, so if you just want to accept ACH, you can turn that on and turn off credit cards. But once you get approved for that, you'll see this area down here change to where you can toggle on ACH, toggle on credit card, or toggle those off in case you want your customer just to pay you through one or the other. All right, folks, well, that sums it up. If you have any questions, we've got a few more minutes. We've got the questions and answer section open, but I hope this was a good overview of QuickBooks Self-Employed, and we hope you enjoy your day. I'll be on until 11:30 to see and answer any questions that you might have, or to show you something that you might want to see. Absolutely. Thank you all for joining. This was fun, and I look forward to so many more webinars with you all and on some other topics maybe. So will QuickBooks accept PayPal sometime soon? As far as connecting it through the invoicing section, I don't know specifically if that's something that we are working on, but you can add your PayPal account to the bank account section. so that you can categorize your PayPal transactions through the Transactions tab. So Lysandra, if you are filing the additional fees using QuickBooks, those fees will come through your Transactions tab. If you're referring to those credit card fees, through the Transactions tab, and then you'll just simply use the category, I think it's credit card. I think it's, maybe it's just under fees. Transaction processing fees right here. Yes, the webcast will be available for replay. We do have it recorded for you. And then, is this good for doing bookkeeping for clients? If your clients, so if you're an accountant and your clients are self-employed, so freelancers, and they're filing a Schedule C, then this is the right QuickBooks version for them. Yes. All right, we've just got a few more seconds until the webinar ends. Thank you so much again for joining. This was great, and I hope you had a lot of fun and learned a lot from the webinar. Thanks so much for joining, and you all have a fabulous week.